Hey guys, Justin Morgan here, and I hear this topic come up a lot with people talking about 5x5 programs, and a lot of people, for some reason, want to lump a 5x5 program in as being a powerlifting program or pertaining to powerlifting, and that could not be any further from the truth. And the point that I want to make in this, I guess the strongest point is that I could list off a handful of bodybuilders, which I will do in a moment, that have followed 5x5 programs throughout their bodybuilding career up to being Mr. Olympias. Most of them coming from a very specific era prior to when steroid, or heavy steroid at least, usage was popular. Some of them even being prior to when steroids were really available to them. Maybe they use them, I don't know, I can't say that, I have no idea. But at least they weren't available in abundance in where they were at that time. So, I could name several bodybuilders that have followed 5x5 type programs, 5 sets of 5 reps on big compound lifts, squat, bench press, rows, usually on one day, and squat, overhead pressing and deadlifts on another day, and then a list of other accessory movements that may come in, or that somebody may promote. They may substitute out one of the squatting days for front squats rather than back squats, but nevertheless they kind of held true to this idea of doing 5 sets of 5. Some of them did ramping sets with a couple warm-up sets to start out with, like the Reg Park program, and then moved into 3 heavy sets, whereas some other people chose to do straight sets across the board. But those were bodybuilders. Now, when we start talking about powerlifters, though, I cannot think of nor name one single powerlifter that has utilized a 5x5 program to any extent throughout their career. It has always been a bodybuilding type thing, and people still, for some reason, want to get into this concept of calling it a powerlifting specific thing, and that just is not true. Here is Coach Gaglione from Gaglione Strength, and he is kind of discussing what some of the things he follows. He is a powerlifter, a very successful powerlifter, and this is a podcast from the Strongcast with Zach Evanish, Coach Zach Evanish, kind of a cool guy. But I just want you to listen real quickly to what Coach Gaglione had to say about 5x5 programs and how he utilizes them.
Sometimes we will do speed bench, sometimes we'll do speed floor press, sometimes we'll do speed overhead, and then other times we'll just do bodybuilding. So we'll just do like a 5x5, right, or sets of 10. We'll use the bamboo bar.
So, amongst powerlifters, 5x5 programs are viewed as a specifically bodybuilding type thing. And another case that I'll show and demonstrate, and before I forget, those bodybuilders that I mentioned are some fairly reputable names, people that you might recognize. Reg Park's probably the most popular, the biggest, and the strongest of those. Next is Steve Reeves. Steve Reeves these are people that used 5x5 programs throughout their career for the most part. They stayed on a 5x5 type program throughout their career. Leroy Colbert is still alive and has a YouTube channel and shares information. Sometimes I try to argue with him about things because he makes some wacky things, but no matter whether you agree with some of his viewpoints on nutrition or not, using a 5x5 program, he was able to build a significant amount of muscle. Another one is Bill Pearl, another Mr. Olympia. He became a vegetarian in the midst of his career, and that is all that I can think of off the top of my head. But those are 4 really good examples. Steve Reeves is another one that used 5x5 type programs. So those are several examples that you can use that are specifically bodybuilders that use 5x5 programs, which is why when I talk about them I usually think of them that way, and I usually list them as beginner strength programs. They're most certainly things you could follow throughout your career though. So hope you guys enjoyed that. Take it easy, and I'll talk to you next time.